a chill session because it's been a long week. I don't want to play games. Well, it's not that I don't want to play games. It's that it's that I want to play one game, and that game is keeping me out of it. And I'm just realizing now that what I should be doing while on this stream is setting up a queue for Final Fantasy 14. The more I talk about it, the more I realize I should do it, but I'm not arsed to get up in the fact that I don't want to do that to you, my adoring audience of probably no one right now. Thank you so much to Jade once again for great logo, which I am defiling with my image. But we'll just fade it back out to it just so you can see it. So Jade, what Jade did that was very nice was I asked her if she could do something up quick for The Witcher, because tonight I will be talking about the Game Awards, what I thought of the trailers that I saw, and also The Witcher, because I was lucky enough, and I'll just come back now. I was lucky enough. Hisrich, Joey Beatty, Kim Bodnia, ahead of the release of the series. Kim Bodnia and, people won't know him yet, will be playing Vesemir, and Joey Beatty, everyone knows as Jaskier. And I was part of a roundtable with them, and it was absolutely brilliant. With regards to Lauren, I got a one-on-one. It was phenomenal. I couldn't believe my luck. It was a really brilliant experience, but we'll go into that later. I thought we'd start off the evening with something light, something fun. The Game Awards. Congratulations to some of the games that I played. I know Tales of. Oh my god, I play it all the time, and yet I don't know its name. Tales of Arise! Haha, I got it in the end. Tales of Arise. I was really impressed by it. I was really happy that it won RPG. And I get it. I don't know if there's any other RPGs that were really out this year. I mean, the big other game for me for RPG was Trails of Cold Steel 4, but that was out last year. Or the year before that in Japan. So it technically doesn't count, I think. And they were vying for my attention a lot this year. I still haven't finished either of them, which is really annoying. I think I'm about 2/3 of the way through Tales, and I'm maybe 1/3 of the way through Trails. Those games are like time black holes. They just eat away at everything. It's a good thing because they're great games, but it's also as I've gotten older, I've noticed I do not have the time to play games as much as I want to, especially when you try to turn it into a career like I have, like all the interviews, all the films, all the games, all that. It's difficult. It's difficult, and I don't know if you could ever really talk about that with like someone from your previous generation. Like, would your dad ever understand, or would your granddad ever understand, or that's the kind of weird plight our generation has, where we have multiple jobs, but some of them aren't technically traditional jobs. Like, for example, and this is a weird tangent, but I'm happy to talk about it to put even what minuscule light I can put on it. The whole Toei shite going on with Totally Not Mark, a fellow Irishman, stripping him of 155 videos. I got into One Piece because of him. He was instrumental in me watching One Piece, mainly because I didn't think I could watch it, because it's at the point I was at, it was at 900 plus episodes, and I didn't know if I could do it. I mean, I love anime. Anime is one of the best forms of media around, best forms of animation, best forms of television, film, what have you. But I didn't know I could get into One Piece. It was daunting. And then along comes Totally Not Mark. He did a review of the first arc of One Piece, and I watched it, and it reminded me, and it shone new light on what made One Piece so interesting for people. And I thought, okay, you know what? Also, COVID took a chunk of this as well. I had nothing to do during COVID at a point, for a large point. So I decided one day with my fiance and friends, let's just watch One Piece. And so myself, fiance, and I want to say two other friends started watching One Piece. What was hilarious about this was, um, one of my friends, he's been watching it since God knows when, but he's watched it multiple times. Like this is his fourth go around, and he adored watching it with us. I think, I hope, if he's watching, and it was so much fun. Just watching the evolution of One Piece was great. I like looking back now at the animation, looking at how it is now for me, because I'm at episode 618. It's phenomenal, and having the little glimpses of what the future episodes look like the current episodes. It's like every couple hundred episodes or so, there's a jump, almost like a jump in technology, which is probably what happens. There's a jump in technology because it has been going for 24 years now. And it's really funny just to see this happen every now and then when there's like the animation just stops and then just takes a leap forward. It's brilliant. So yeah, I got into that, and it was all thanks to Totally Not Mark. And to see YouTube and Toei just strike down months of work, years of work, 155 videos. Each video is about 50 minutes long, which, you know, the amount of work they put into logos, designs, editing, yeah, it's probably years of his life that they've also probably taken off him because of all the stress. And yeah, it was devastating to hear because I really like Totally Not Mark. I think he's one of the best Irish YouTubers out there, up there with like Eye Patch Wolf. I really like him. I didn't like him when I first saw him because he was dissing Bleach, but which is so stupid. But I like Eye Patch Wolf as well. He's a really cool guy. And yeah, it's just really fascinating, just and saddening to see this happen to him because, as he says in the video, it's his livelihood. He's got a family. It's feeding his family, and it is a job. Like it is a profession that he has crafted. It's like people, you know, talking about how I always feel that my family don't really see my journalistic side as a real job because I barely get paid for it. And to see someone like Mark getting paid, making a proper kind of career out of it is something to strive for. And he's probably younger than me, so that's even more annoying. So yeah, if you haven't heard about it, check out his video. He breaks it all down and like it's fascinating. That's the saddest part. It's fascinating for me to watch because once again, he's a great storyteller. So he tells this story. He tells this horrible story really well. And yeah, I don't think enough eyes are on it. Even though PewDiePie apparently was talking about it, and it's gotten nothing. Like Toei haven't answered at all. And I hope something positive comes out of it for him because it's a real shame. So to take off that dour note, I suppose we'll head right into the main topic of tonight's discussion. Sorry, first topic of tonight's discussion, which is the Game Awards, which was interesting. I was surprised. Let's take a Coke. This episode is sponsored by Coke because we are definitely not sponsored by Coke. Santa. So basically, I watched the trailers literally today. I wanted to watch them on my TV instead of on my phone, and looked really cool. Some of them were really interesting. Some of them, one or two of them, I was a bit worried about. And I suppose I'll start off with the one that kind of I was hoping for a lot more, but it's okay. Wonder Woman. I'm so happy Wonder Woman finally has a game because it's only ever two. It's only sorry, it's only ever two. It's only ever one person in the DC world that gets a game. It's Batman. Every now and then you might get a Justice League game, and sometimes they're really great. I remember the Justice League game in the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 era, which had you like playing as like the entire Justice League. It was great. Ron Perlman, I think, voiced Batman, and it was really good game. It was done in the kind of vein of Ultimate Alliance, X-Men Legends, stuff like that. But we've never had a Wonder Woman game, to my knowledge. We've barely had a Superman game because I can't have nice things. Because you can't have your OP man. I mean, it's very difficult to make a game about Superman. Again, Justice League. You have to make a Justice League game, and you have to make it like RPG-ish, and he has to level up and stuff, and still be weak and hurt, and it's weird. Hi, Jed. Well, it's not really a camera. It's literally. Oh wait, do you mean where I've put it? Yeah. Well, I want to make sure because I didn't want to take the grain part out. Usually, I go into the corner, the bottom right corner, but I didn't want to take the grain part out. Or the season new because those are the things you really worked on. They look really great. And the wolf. It's really funny that I'm doing this. And the wolf is technically not ours. Sorry, not technically, is not ours. But we did enough trickery artwork so that it looks nice. It's really good. I thought you meant the center as in like where my camera is to my face. But yeah, Wonder Woman has a game. It's coming out. Hooray! This is next year. Potentially, is going to be the year of 3 big DC games with Gotham Knights, which I'm really looking forward to, especially because I'm watching Young Justice and Titans, and I can't get enough of that of those core characters of that generation of superheroes. And then of course Suicide Squad, which I will talk about in a little bit, because that's one of my. And now we have Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman got a tease of her mom telling her what her mom always tells her: you're more than just a hero. You can be a leader. You can be, you're a god. It's interesting they didn't quite go for the same design as Gal Gadot, which is interesting because I thought when I first saw the teaser, when I first saw the snapshot, the thumbnail, I thought that was Gal Gadot for a second. I thought they'd gone with her design, but they've gone for they've skewed a little bit off her, which will be interesting to see. So yeah, thank you very much. I am very funny. No, I know Spiral is on. Is it on Amazon? It's on Amazon or no. Spiral is on Disney Plus. Ooh, I might watch that tonight because I'm in the mood for some crap tonight. I'm in the mood for some like schlock. After watching Scream, I'm kind of like I want some schlocky, stupid horror stuff. So I know that's not supposed to be good. Oh, sweet, yeah, I got Prime. I got Prime because I stayed up last night. I stayed up until midnight last night to watch Wheel of Time, episode 6. Ask me about that. Gladly, I will gladly talk about Wheel of Time. But yeah, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman looks cool. It's a lovely bust of her because that's all it was. It was showing her chest, shoulders, and head, and then a little bit of the lasso. Hooray. It looked cool. I want a Wonder Woman game. I've wanted anything other than Batman for a very long time. Because people say he doesn't have superpower, but he does. He does. He's plot armored. DC plot armors him. He's indestructible. He's perfect. Also, I'd love a Flash game, but like it feels like because I watched a bit of Flash today. I couldn't stop laughing because Flash, if you don't know, is currently in a 5-part event where he's being like fucked with by the Reverse Flash, and the Reverse Flash takes his life. Like he literally has his own flashpoint called the Reverse Flashpoint, and he swaps bodies. He swaps bodies. He swaps places. So Barry is now the Reverse Flash, and Eobard is now the Flash. And there's a fight where Barry takes on all his old friends, and it's really stupid because Barry should be able to kill all of them, and yet Alex from Supergirl and Batwoman hit him. And the thing, it makes no sense because you watch the scene and she stuns him. She like Alex has a weapon that is like a Deus Ex Machina weapon that literally turns into anything she wants, and yet she always turns it into a gun. It's a waste of a weapon. She uses it on him, freezes him, and then unfreezes him as Batwoman says. As Batwoman attacks him from behind, he turns and sees this attack coming, meaning he has enough time to move. He's the Flash. Hell, he's the Reverse Flash. The Reverse Flash is at times faster. But, like, I'm getting off point. I'd like a Flash game. And I'd like a Flash game that does not involve the CW. So, what else? Shoulders, knees and toes. Knees and toes. Very true. And then, as a cop drama, not as a Saw movie. Really? Huh. I heard it was like proper crap. Like, it's the worst one? It's the worst Saw? Because Chris Rock, is not good in it. And then Samuel L. Jackson is Samuel L. Jackson. Because he's always Samuel L. Jackson. Like I'm waiting for him to burn down the MCU. You know? Righteous hand of God. So it keeps getting me off topic. Next up, we have the Lord of the Rings, Gollum, The Untold Story. He's a stone cold killer in this. Like, the game seems to have it that from what the trailer, it's a cinematic, by the way. The trailer seems to postulate that Gollum, you the player, will have to choose between stealth or killing, because Smeagol wants to shy away and run away from all the enemies, while Gollum wants to protect the ring, the precious, and kill anyone that even has a chance of getting near it. Like there's this whole thing in the trailer where it's like Smeagol is shying away into the shadows. Gollum decides to come back out, and he pushes a thing of lava over some orcs and kills them. And I wonder, is that going to be the big gimmick? It's like you can choose two sides of the coin. You can choose how to deal with your enemies. You know, silently. You can like run away from them, or you can think the runaways kind of things just seems kind of boring. So it kind of feels like you're just going to be Gollum all the time. Okay, so let's see now. What did Jade also say about Spiral? I was expecting it to be awful, but I really loved it and really enjoyed Chris Rock in it. But yeah, it is. But yeah, as a solid movie, nah. As a cop drama, yes. I don't want to watch it. I don't want a cop drama. Ugh. Isn't that also what one of them was? Like one of the ones with Danny Glover? Wasn't he kind of like the cop drama? Wasn't he like the cop who was trying to find Jigsaw? These are the questions. So yeah, let's see. What next have we got? This one I was surprised about how I felt about it. Horizon Zero Dawn. Sorry, god damn it. I can't say it the correct way. Horizon Forbidden West. So, full-on gameplay trailer. Really cool. Showing various costumes that you get, various upgrades, weapons, styles of combat, new environments to fight in. And I don't know if it's just me, and it might just be me, but it felt familiar. There was a sense of deja vu. Like, when we went to the Frozen Wastes, I think that's what the Frozen Tundra or whatever, DLC for the first one, for Horizon Zero Dawn, that felt like a completely different game. Like, you were in a completely different environment, nothing was safe, enemies were far more deadly. From what I saw in the gameplay trailer of this, Horizon Forbidden West looks good, but it feels very safe. It feels very like, okay, we're going to add one or two new things. I could be completely wrong. I probably am very wrong, but I think the trailer's only like a minute long, so it's not much to go on, but I thought it was okay. Which is for me not a lot. Especially for Horizon Zero Dawn. I've been waiting a long time for this sequel because Horizon Zero Dawn was great. The storytelling, the lore, the characters, and now it kind of feels like now that Breath of the Wild has come out, it's taking one or two things from it, and we all know what I mean. Um, some of the vistas look very similar. Uh, Aloy literally has the same like cape floaty thing that everyone seems to like want to do now in games, all because of Link. Um, I'll be interested to see how it works out because again, I love Horizon Zero Dawn. There's no reason why I won't love Horizon Forbidden West. It just looks a bit safe right now. That's all. Like there's no massive changes. Like at least I couldn't glean any. Like I couldn't see any. Oh yeah, like I pretty much like I watched Wheel of Time instead of watching the Game Awards. I had one vice: either watch the Game Awards, which actually probably would have gone into way too late, early into the morning, or watch Wheel of Time. And I watched Wheel of Time, and sadly, some things happened in that episode that I'm just like sad about because they're behind the scenes drama that really upset me. And looking back at the final part of the episode, it upsets me even more. But overall, like the Wheel of Time series is pretty cool. Nice. To play Pokemon. Yeah. It's for the youth. It's for the youth. And I'm no longer young. And then Hellblade 2. So annoyed this is an Xbox only game. Fuck. Because goddamn was that good. Senua's Saga, they call it. So feels like this is like part 2 of 3. Feels like it's gonna be like a trilogy. They better come to PS5. Swear to God. Like, I know the whole thing, like, it was on the PS4 first, and now it's gone to Xbox. I hope it comes. I hope it does. Yeah, Hellblade 2 is on, Senua's Saga is on Xbox only. It's on Game Pass. So, I'm really annoyed because it looks amazing, and the trailer is gameplay trailer, but it is phenomenal gameplay trailer. Like it's Senua taking on it's Senua taking on a giant with a bunch of lads from her village. Apparently she's waging war with the gods, and she's taking on a giant first. And it is so unnerving because it's kind of like, best way I could describe it is, imagine if the From Software games, Dark Souls, Sekiro, the up and coming Elden Ring, were more cinematic, as in, you had proper cinematics going into that were fluid with your gameplay. That's what this felt like. It had the tension, it had the foreboding nature. I was properly like unnerved as this giant showed up. Like it makes giant, like even God of War. God of War is a brutal game. God of War is a brutal franchise, and they go hell's bells with designs, but I'm never scared. I'm just like it's tension, it's adrenaline. This chilled me to the bone when I saw what this giant looked like and how they were fighting it and what it was doing and how it was moving. At first I thought it was like a friggin' giant baby. It was creepy. And then how Senua fights it and how you have to fight, and like the fluid nature of clearly what is a cinematic and what is also gameplay. Like you can clearly tell that there is a flow, and even though you can see it, it doesn't matter because it is beautiful looking, and I hate that the Xbox has it because I'm never going to get one. So I'm hoping that it's a timed exclusive. I mean, they wouldn't do that. I don't know if they do that. Yeah, it's really disturbing. And I don't know if you need to finish the first one. That's the interesting thing. I don't know. The first one is emotionally devastating. Like, it's really powerful. It's a really great game. Also, I highly recommend it with earphones. The sounds and voices and everything are creepy as hell. And they're in this trailer. So, it's a great game to be alone with. Or not, because it's really creepy and disturbing, like on a mental level. So yeah, that was like a win. That was a Gorgeous. Mwah. And then, of course, we come to Elden Ring, which was holy crap. Where was all of this epic, mythical storytelling with Wheel of Time? Sorry, not Wheel of Time. With Game of Thrones. If George R. R. Martin has had this capability, where was it in Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones was, I know I know his style for it was he wanted to make an epic that had bits of magic in it, but this is proper magic. This is gods. This is demigods. This is tales being retold over centuries, and it's fascinating to watch. Like demigods go to war against gods, and this adorable, I guess she is, fortune teller, weaving the tale, and yeah, it looks really cool. And everyone has awesome names. Like everyone has a "the" in the middle. Like there's this big guy that I know I'm probably gonna have. You're probably gonna have to fight in the game, who just looks unbeatable. Just looks unbeatable, and I don't want to fight him. But I know I will, because Sekiro really got me into the From Software games. Bloodborne, I'm kind of interested in Bloodborne. I could go back to it. Like, I only barely touched on it with my friend James. We got a little bit into the story, maybe, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes into the game, and then I kind of just stopped playing it. I don't know why. I mean, it's on my PS5. I can easily play it whenever. I can't play Dark Souls, and I can't play Demon Souls. They're too scary for me. I've always been a scaredy cat. Like, I'm surprised I was able to beat Resi 7 and 8. Resi 8, there might have been the fact that Lady D was in it, so that was a thing. She pushed me through that narrative, and then she was gone, and I just yeah. It's really sad. Yeah, a lot of the sounds freaked me out in that. And what else? What else? Yeah, Elden Ring just looks top to bottom like it's going to be one hell of a game. I mean, the fact that people have already played it, gotten a good taste of it, it's going to be really interesting. I'm going to be really interested to get involved, get that game. I'm really sad I can't get any of the collector's editions. It was funny. I was talking to people on the web page, on the Facebook page. I was like, check out these things we were sent on the press releases about all these cool new collector's editions that are coming out. All these multitudes of collector's editions you could pre-order for Elden Ring. And immediately, I think it was James got on and just went, oh no, it might have been Robert. Robert said, yeah, you're not. It's either Robert or James. Yeah, you're not getting any of those. They've already all sold out. And I was like, God damn it. Not cool. But good bully for From Software and Bandai. Bandai are going to clean a house when that game comes out. And this brings me to my next game. This is the game for me that I probably give the least shit about. I give like almost zero shits about this game. And I was talking to a friend of mine, like messaged me last night at an ungodly hour. I just finished Wheel of Time. I was immediately going to bed, and I was like, not talking to anyone. Good night. And I woke up. He then messaged me again and said, "Have you seen Star Wars Eclipse?" And I was like, "No." Watched the trailer today, and I can honestly say, why? The trailer started off promisingly enough. He says it's like Star Wars is trying to do Dune, which is weird because Star Wars has always been trying to be Dune. Star Wars is completely been ripping off Dune since its inception. Like, the Force is the voice. Luke Skywalker is Paul Atreides, except less. Again, like, everything's plainer, everything's simpler in the Star Wars universe compared to the Dune universe. So when I watched this trailer, I was like, yeah, they're going for grand. They're going for grandiose. This is probably set in the High Republic, or the Old Republic, as we all know it should be called. And I was like, okay, cool. I don't recognize anyone. Good, good. And I said this to, like, my fiance was sitting beside me, and I said, the second I see someone I recognize, I'm out. I'm not interested. And 2 seconds after I said this, Yoda shows up. I'm like, fuck. I was like, you had one job. You had one job. You have a whole universe. You have a timeline immemorial to touch upon. And what do? You go back to the same planet. You are probably going to bring up the Sith, and it's set. I want to assume it's set in the High Republic because Yoda's very old. He was in the High Republic. He was there during the High Republic, from what I believe, because he's 900 and something. But we don't know. We don't know, and I am very frustrated. Would make me out to be interested. And one other thing. C-3PO might be in this. I think there's a protocol droid, and it's all like, none of its metal is on it. And the only time I've ever seen a protocol droid with none of its metal on it is C-3PO. So that begs the question, is this now set in the prequels? But then that makes no sense, because we know almost all the events in the prequels. But then the final scene of the trailer, and god damn it, this is what made it kind of cool, was a big old dude coming out of oil, and like clearly a Sith. And the fact that we don't see the character means that they are probably someone we know. I almost thought it was Sidious. I almost thought it was like, oh, this is how Darth Sidious comes back from the dead. This is how Darth Sidious keeps coming back from the dead. It's not just cloned bodies or anything. He's literally made of evil. And I was like, cool. I'm just going to stick to Bad Batch. Bad Batch is maybe the only thing I'm going to stick to. I don't think I'll watch Boba Fett. I don't know. I might. I probably will. I'll watch everything. Mandalorian? Yes. As long as they stop trying to turn it into a setup series where every episode is a setup for a next series. That's all. If they stop doing that and getting back to what he is, cool. Also, this will be interesting because it'll be the first season without the kid, so maybe he'll be a bounty hunter. So yeah. So as you can tell, Star Wars Eclipse left a bitter taste in my mouth. Looks cool, but shorts can look cool. It's really easy to make a short look cool. I mean, it's another game that is too attached to the franchise. It's too attached. So yeah. Now what else? I suppose the final game. Oh no, actually it's not. It's not. But which to go with? I will go with the last game that I will discuss. And that is Suicide Squad Kills Justice League gameplay. And they showed off the gameplay by showing them off, possibly fighting and killing the Flash, which is always an interesting thing for me. Because once again, it seems like Barry is like the kicking is just like someone has somehow put a kick me sign on his back, and it's like, if you want to prove yourself, beat up Flash, even though Flash should easily be able to defeat you. There's no, like, the comics always did it really well, where Barry could think fast, Barry could be almost anywhere, and if he really wanted to, Barry could go back in time and fix things. But now they've kind of ruined that by the fact that he's like crippled by his crippling need for his team. He can't go back in time because he keeps fucking up the timeline. Like, I think he's fucked up the timeline in the DC films now. That's what's going to be the Flash film, where he like fucks up Michael Keaton's timeline. He's like, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. What was really nice about it was how they showcased all the powers. Like, clearly you've got Killer King Shark, who's like the Brawn, who like is eating heads and like throwing people across areas and jumping like like jumping like meters around the place. It's really cool. You have Deadshot, who perfect aim, probably has themed bullets that are for weaknesses, like probably has a kryptonite bullet for Superman, probably has like a god killer bullet for Wonder Woman, probably has cryo bullets which slow down the Flash, and probably has just bullets for Batman. Probably has fear bullets for Green Lantern, and fire bullets for Martian Manhunter. If they go Martian Manhunter, I'll be interested to see if Martian Manhunter, who will be the 7th member. Because so far we've got Superman, Batman, who I think we see. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Aquaman. Don't know how you'd kill him. And there's always a 7th. Now, could be Cyborg. Could be Shazam sometimes. Could be Martian Manhunter. If they go with the cartoon, it'll be Martian Manhunter will take the place of Aquaman, and then you have Green Lantern played by Jon Stewart. We know Jon Stewart is in the game, so that is a Green Lantern. So I hope they go with that, and then also Hawkgirl or Hawkman. So yeah, the theme of it was to show off what they're doing against the Flash, and it's interesting because it looks like he can easily beat them, like he's playing with them in the trailer. And it was just interesting seeing the different types of abilities thrown around. Captain Boomerang is interesting because I've never seen Captain Boomerang as a speedster. And apparently this is a version of Captain Boomerang where he can use his boomerangs to teleport around the environment, which is pretty cool. And gives him an even bigger rivalry with the Flash, and I really like it. And I think they've brought in a lot of actors who have played these characters. Like, I'm fairly certain the voice actor for Captain Boomerang in this game has played Captain Boomerang in previous iterations of the animated character. As well as you have, Deadshot and Harley. I'm not sure if Harley's being voiced by Tara Strong. I know Harley is voicing Tara in... Sorry. I know Tara is voicing Harley in one of these games that's coming up, but I'm not sure which one. I think she is voicing her in this one, which is pretty cool because Tara's kind of she is my second favorite after the OG, because she created the character so many years ago when I was a young boy. I suppose Tara became prevalent after the games because that's when Tara properly took over, I think. So yeah, I mean, all these characters with their abilities look really cool. And then you have Harley with her plot armor because there's no way she should be able to fight. Why do you hate that? Oh, which one is that? Is that the one for the TV show or is that like someone else? Because there's a multitude. It depends on which one you'll go for. Like, you talking about the one for... Yeah, are you talking about the one for the TV show? The one with her and Poison Ivy? In game? Oh, no! But that's Tara Strong. That's the voice. I'm fairly certain that's Tara Strong. She's voiced Harley since the first Arkham game. And before, actually. At least I think so. Ugh. Kaylee Cuoco. Ugh. I have residual hatred for her because... Not hatred. But I don't like Big Bang. And she was a large part of that. I don't... Like, I always thought that it was pandering. So, I never really liked that. And she was a part of that. Heavily a part of that. So... And no, like... There's no reason to get rid of Tara. Tara is the perfect voice. That's why she's been voicing her for almost 20 years. She was great as Batgirl, and she was great as Harley. There was no reason to change her voice so many times. I'm fairly certain you're thinking of the Arkham games. Or the Injustice games. I'm fairly certain the Injustice games, she's also Tara Strong. But who is it? Who could it be? I don't think there's any other games where, like, it's not Tara. Or was it, like... There's got to be a period where Tara's not... I know Tara, at certain points, has not voiced her. Like, the TV show, the cartoon, she's not voiced her. There's also the one, the one with Nightwing in it, where I think she sleeps with him. And it's your one who plays Penny's friend out of Big Bang Theory. Hmm. Please hold while please bear with us while Jade gets her tries to figure this out. Yeah, that's Tara Strong, I think. Who is it? Let's have a looky loo. Tara Strong. Let's literally have to type in Tara Strong. Oh god, it's gonna take forever to find it because she's got so many. I met her once. She's very nice. Or she could just been put on the front. No, she's nice. I hope she's nice. Let's see. Damn, where is she? Oh, wait, those are all. God damn it, those are all TV shows. God damn it, I didn't go to games. Come on, games. Oh, wait, here we go. Okay. And she is Harley! Then you must have hated her for so you must have hated Harley for so long because she's literally been Harley for 2 decades and has been in every game. Like this is like she's been in every game. I'm fairly certain like this is where she lives. This is where Tara Strong lives. Her games, like she's in every game. I'm looking at it now. It's mad. Fascinating. But then, yeah, it's oh, yeah. But then, like, she's been voicing her for like 2 decades. So you love Harley, but then, like, I imagine you are not happy with how Harley's sounded the last 2 decades because she's only ever she's not quite been involved, which is fascinating when it happens. So yeah, that was some of the experiences I've been having, some of the things, and now we get on to the really fun part. The Sonic 2 trailer. I'm so happy. Sonic 2 looks so much fun. I weirdly fell in love with Sonic in that first film. I thought I wouldn't. I thought it'd be really bad, and it's not. And it's so much fun. It's silly. And then the second one is open up, and it's just really cool. And like Dr. Robotnik looks better. He actually looks like Dr. Robotnik. If Dr. Robotnik was thin instead of like more portly, he doesn't look like Eggman. Jim Carrey is bringing that same kind of manic style, which works for me. What I love is that his assistant is like become a fully fleshed out character. Like when Robotnik shows up, like he cheers, he's returned. Like he goes, he has returned, and it's just it's got so much character in it. It's just you feel that love. And of course we see Tails show up, voiced by Colleen O'Shaughnessy, which is great because she's been voicing Tails since 2014. She's been a lot of people's Tails for a very long time, which is really fascinating because it makes you wonder why none of the other voice actors for Sonic could come back. Like, Roger Craig Smith, anyone? Like, he's been voicing Sonic for a long time. Should we even get Urkel back? He'll do it. Like, that's he made a great catchphrase, and he, like, what did he say? Is that a bad? No, I can't remember. What did Urkel say when he was the voice of Sonic? But yeah, that was really cool. I really liked it. And then the final part when Knuckles shows up, I was just like, yes, because Knuckles. And I'm sorry, I know Idris said I tried really hard not to make Knuckles sexy, and I was like, you failed us, Idris, because Knuckles kind of sounds sexy. And I think a lot of men, women, uh, are are going to get really dig your version of Knuckles. Also, he like the way he's introduced is just so cool. It's just like hand out, knuckle down, and just has just messed Sonic up completely. I can't wait to see how it goes. Also, Chaos Emeralds, which means one, potentially seeing Chaos maybe show up at some point. Two, Supersonic, and three, Shadow. Because I love me some Shadow. He's so cool. Mm. Yes, yeah, yes. You little sloth does art. Your question about Suicide Squad and Tara Strong. You have a question. Yes, 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 yes. That's good Foley. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know because it did sound a bit off to me. I mean, if you want to make sure you don't like it, watch the second trailer where like there's way more of her talking, or even this new trailer, like because it's definitely Tara, because Tara has been um, put down in the things as the voice of Harley for this game. So yeah, it's her. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see it because like I like it. I, I mean, I don't want to say anything mean because it's not mean. But Tara Strong is not a young woman. And also, I've always found, even when Harley was an interest, even when Harley was like, first introduced, that accent has always been shrill. It's always felt like it's a put on. That's how I've always felt about Harley's voice. It's always felt like a put on. It's about finding the person who can pull it off the best, though. And for me, it is the original voice actor of Harley, who I'm going to find out her name because, oh my god, I can't remember her name. And it is annoying me so much. No, yeah, no, Kate. My goodness, there are so many. Not Margot Robbie. Arlene Sorkin. Of course, Arlene Sorkin. Arlene Sorkin was the last. Sorry, excuse me. Arlene Sorkin was the first um, Harley, and she was perfect. She was introduced in the Batman, the animated series, and she was great. She was the perfect voice for me, in my opinion, for Harley. She balanced the annoyance of it far better than any of them. Even Tara can be a bit grating at times, but yeah, she is. Yeah, she's the voice of her. So maybe it's just a certain pitch they had of her. Maybe that's what annoyed you. But yeah, the rest of the trailers are all Tara. Sorry, and definitely this one as well. I think the first one. That would be amazing because that would mean Arlene Sorkin is a terrifying individual outside of her work. So yeah, I can't wait. So that has been everything about the Game Awards. Right. So I'm gonna take a quick 2-3 minute break. Assemble yourselves as you wish. Um, because now we will talk about when I come back. We'll talk about The Witcher. It's a non-spoiler review of The Witcher, season two, first 6 episodes, and yeah, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, I will see you guys in about 1 or 2 minutes. Not much. I think something else just played there, and I don't know what happened. Sorry about that. So if that came in too loud, it's gonna. Sorry about that. Whatever that was. I'm so sorry. I don't know if that was. Yeah, okay, that came in. Oh, I'm so sorry, Jade. Oh my heavens. I don't know why that came in then. I was trying to get the so for what so basically what happened there was I was trying to set up music because obviously there's no game to go into this week. So I thought, okay, I'm going to use the Game Air trailer, and we have the audio, so it'll work perfectly. Nice fade in, and could not for the life of me work the audio. Don't know why, just didn't. So fine. Doesn't work. And then went out for my break for a quick second, came back. When I turned it back on, when I went from with the ads came back off or whatever, the music starts. Don't know how. And I scared one of the writers. So cheers. No. I honestly don't know how that happened. I have it here now, and I turned it off. So if it does happen again, I've muted it. But I do not know how that happened. That is that's not good. I don't know. Right, so we're on to The Witcher Season 2. Destiny is a beast. If anyone wants to see it, there is an interview with myself and Lauren. It is on the Game Air website, where we sit down and talk about all things Witcher, stress, her lack of relaxation, working on Season 3 already, and yeah, just trying to get that mindset for Geralt going into Season 2, because he's a dad now, which is interesting. And I suppose we'll start with that. We'll start that with the first episode. The first episode is called. Let me just make sure with my notes. Oh damn it, that didn't work. Oh, that's right. I have to turn the page. Let's turn the page together, audience. Let's turn the page. A Grain of Truth, which many people will know, is a short story that was in book 1 and originally was planned for season 1. And it is, it's really interesting. It's about this character called Nivellen, who has been cursed by, who's an old friend of Geralt's, who has been cursed by a witch, sorceress, to be an immortal beast. And he looks like a beast. And he lives in a magical house that he controls all the magic. All his servants are gone. They're all dead, and there's another woman. There's a woman in the house somewhere apparently, and yeah, I'm not going to go heavy into spoilers with these because I genuinely loved what little I knew about the characters going into this, because I played the game, but the game is like almost an alternate universe at this point. And I loved what they did in this. Christopher Hivju plays Nivellen, and so he brings that same kind of energy that he did as Thorin from Game of Thrones. And he's funny. He's a charmer. He's very warm. He's clearly got baggage, and the fact that there's a curse on him also means that he may have. He may have deserved this, because nothing is simple, nothing is safe in the world of the continent. Nothing is safe in the continent. And having watched 6 episodes, I can tell you this right now. This is kind of it's not a spoiler, but it is kind of like just giving you a heads up. I think the show peaks very early because this is my favorite episode, and none of the other episodes come near it. I am disappointed in some of the other episodes. Some of the I suppose the stories in each episode are a bit disappointing. Yennefer's own story in this season is a bit it's a bit tropey. Um Ciri and Geralt are great together. I think Freya Allen and Henry Cavill are really work well together. There's some disappointing elements when we meet all the Witchers at Kaer Morhen, and that's I believe that if I get my notes correctly, yeah, it's the next episode. This episode had none of the baggage of the rest of the season or the previous season. Even it was a short adventure, wasn't tied to anything else. Geralt and Ciri find themselves in a very dangerous situation, in a very unknown scenario, and it is brilliant. My phone will not go off because I've muted it. I had that. I was prepared for that one. Um, yeah. It there's so much going on in the first episode that I adored it as a fan of as I've gone on as a consumer of media, of comic books, of cartoons, of television shows, films, all that. I miss the episodic, and I think that's why I love this episode so much. I love it far more than the rest of the episodes. It's episodic. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's just like we're just like we're thrown into it. We're with two of our main protagonists, and we're on an adventure, and it has nothing to do with anything else. Will it impact them later on? Probably, probably not. But it has informed their characters. They are different on the way out, and it's like the old school Doctor Who, and I say old school, I mean obviously the early 2000s Doctor Who, mid 2000s, when Russell T Davies was just doing his episodic nature. But even that, like Doctor Who in the 60s and all that also had its episodic natures, which were the norm at the time. It reminded me of Star Trek. It reminded me of Hercules: The Legendary Adventures, Xena. It was a great episode. It's the best episode, and also Christopher Hivju is so amazing in it. He may have a similar vibe to Tormund, but it's a new character. It's a very interesting character. It's a character that doesn't feel like anyone else we've ever met in season 1. And so yeah, that's easily my favorite episode, and it's sad almost that it's almost downhill from here. Not to an insane degree, but like there were some choices made about characters, about where characters are going, characters leave off, introductions of new characters that should be here that aren't, stuff like that kind of disappointed me. And weirdly, it starts with Kaer Morhen. There are choices made in the second episode involving the Witchers and involving characters around Geralt, like Eskel, Lambert, Cohen, Vesemir, all that kind of disappointed me and left me a bit disappointed. This is just a personal preference. This isn't like, oh, this technically is terrible. It's just some choices they made storyline wise I was not the biggest fan of. Apart from that, though, it's really great to see Kaer Morhen in live action. Looks great. Well, it looks like a ramshackle place, but it looks so cool in live action. And there's a lot more Witchers than there are in both the books and the games. There's I want to say maybe 8 Witchers. Because there's Lambert, Cohen, and Eskel, who everyone will know from the games and in the books as well. But there's also a bunch of nameless ones. Don't have names, don't have dialogue, but they're there. And it's weird. It's weird to see other Witchers. my fiance Breed, she was actually weirded out that there were other Witchers. She was like, "What the hell are they doing there? There shouldn't be any other Witchers. There should only be those three lads in Vesemir." And I thought it was hilarious. But it was an interesting choice. I thought the reason was because I was like, Breed, they're probably going to be killed. That's probably the point. But you think we're going to have Witchers and they're going to be killed. So episode 2 is really good. It's pretty much episode 2 is all about Ciri trying to figure out what she needs to do now that she's with Geralt. And Geralt figuring out what do I need to do now with it's Ciri, because they're tied to each other forever now, and it's for better or for worse. And they play it off really well. They play it off really well. What is lost? This is a Yennefer heavy episode, and so episode 3 is called What is Lost, and it's a Yennefer heavy episode all about how does she survive, what she's been going through in the past 3 episodes, because she's in the other 3 episodes, but not like she's like a tertiary storyline, and what's happening to her is really interesting. Book readers will know something happens to her, she's injured, but it's different than how it is in the books. And I will say, I did not care for it. I would have preferred if they'd done what they did in the books. In the books, she is blinded, which is a fascinating kind of storyline to go with her character. In the series, they go a different route, and it goes down. The storyline goes in a really weird kind of tangent that involves Francesca, which a lot of people will know from the books, and Fringilla. And it's really interesting, weird, and kind of... Yeah, see, filler Witchers, it's weird. It's just like, they're like extra, like they feel like extras. It's just like, ugh. The point is, Witchers are supposed to be incredibly rare. Like, there's a literal handful of them left. Hell, the game introduced an extra 2 Witchers, and you kill one of them, and you can't kill the other. Like, what is it? Letho, who I hope they introduce into the series. Honestly, I like Letho. But yeah, get me off another tangent. Cut out, Jay. Yeah, so it's good. It's good. I just don't like where they're going with Yennefer's character. She's paired with someone surprising from episode 3 onwards, and honestly, it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Strigabor's in the season. Same old crap with him. Triss gets a bigger role. Staying quite true to the books, if a lot of people know what that means. Wink, wink. Staying far because she has more interactions with Geralt, and Triss is apparently very close to the book still because of how her and Geralt interact. So that's interesting. And then, I really liked it. Now, I will say, episode 4 has a big positive in it because of one reason and one character. Jaskier. Oh, Jaskier's back. Redanian Intelligence. That's the episode title. That is episode 4. And Jaskier is back, and he has a banger of a new tune. Butcher Burn, which is... basically, it's his second, it's the second album. It's the sophomore album. It's the sophomore single. And it's also, it's his goddamn Taylor Swift song. It's basically, he has been burnt by Geralt, so he's going to burn Geralt back in song. And it is brilliant, because Geralt has probably never heard that song. Like, it. But, like, Joey Beatty is awesome in it. Like, how he's introduced, it's Yennefer who finds him, and it's so cool. The song is brilliant. Because it's not available anywhere, I literally went back to the episode and just listened to the song. Literally had to, when the song started to when the song ended, and then just went back, because it's such a good song. Because it's so bitchy, and it's so angry. and I loved it. Pretty much, it's actually like bang bang, hit the ground, bang bang. It's really, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. Um, and again, Yennefer is continuing her journey to try and figure out what to do with herself because of her injuries, and she has her partner in tow with her. Jaskier gets involved, and then episode. Oh, also, Redina Intelligence has the introduction of a very big character in Witcher lore. I can never pronounce his name properly. Giskra. Giskra? He's played by Graham McTavish. People will know immediately who I'm talking about. He's brilliant. He's a fascinating character. I really, really liked him. He's not in it that much, which I was a little bit disappointed about. But again, I've only seen 6 of the 8 episodes. For all I know, he's in the next 2. He's in the last 2, sorry. Yeah, he's really cool. And then I can't remember if it's this episode or if it's the next. Okay, yeah, I do. It is the next episode. It is episode 5. Turn Your Back. Next episode is I can't remember much about episode 5 except for one thing. The introduction of a character called Rience, who is so goddamn cool. I've never enjoyed a character's introduction as much as Rience. And what he can do, and his powers. He's a messed up mage. He's a messed up sorcerer. Who clearly, he's a pyromancer. He adores fire. And the problem is, in this world, fire is the most dangerous magic. You're not supposed to use it ever because of its capabilities. I imagine it's kind of like how in The Wheel of Time, Aiel see swords as no-nos. They don't like that weapon because everything else can be used as a tool, not just as a killing device. While swords are just made to kill. So in this sense, everything else in The Witcher, every other form of magic makes sense. There's not just you don't have to just do pain when you cast a spell with that. But fire magic does. Fire magic is only destruction. As seen in the previous finale of last season when Yennefer burnt an entire army to death, which was so cool. Yeah, so you see his powers have been taken away. But some woman, I can't remember her name, but she's a big character. I was told that much because when my fiance, who has read all the books, heard her name, she got really excited. Because she's like, I'm gonna get you out of here, and you are going to hunt down this character. I won't say who. And he is so cool because he has this thing where it's like you don't know what he does because he's in a prison that is basically designed to take away the powers of a wizard, of a sorcerer or a sorceress. There's a kind of metal in the world that basically, like, if it's on your arms, if you're surrounded by it, you can't perform magic. And so he is constantly doing this. And like that's how you're introduced to him. It's just like every now and then you're just like, and someone's talking to him and they just go, and it's creepy. And then he gets out of the prison. And then you understand why he does it. Because every time he clicks his fingers, a fire just comes out of his hand and he looks so happy. But at the same time, he's got this coldness about him. And it's brilliant. It is absolutely like, I love these type of characters. Imagine if you will, in Full Metal Alchemist, Mustang, Roy Mustang, the flame alchemist. He does that, and things burst from his hand, flames. That's pretty much Rience, except Rience is an asshole. And like he uses fire very well. In the books, there's a really cool image of him creating fire claws out of his hand. Like literally, he will go like this, and like his hands will come together, and there'll be his fingernails will have gone into like molten claws that have then just like solidified over his nails. He's really cool, uh, and it's really funny because people are like, he gets a scar at one point, and people's like, how are they going to give him that scar? Because the way he gets the scar in the book, a certain character needs to have certain powers, and that character doesn't have it. In this, it's done really well how he gets that scar, and it's really clever. And of course, he can't heal himself like a normal mage because all he knows is fire magic. So he can cauterize wounds really well, I imagine. But he can't heal a scar because what's he going to do? He's going to heal a scar by putting his hand over his face and just letting it burn and melt a bit. So that's Rince. Rince captures one of the characters, and he tortures him. And like he tortures one of the characters, and it's horrifying to watch, because he's really intense and he's really cold. And his interactions with every character, because he gets involved with a lot of the characters, because obviously sorcerers and sorceresses can teleport, open portals, so it's really interesting watching like him just like interact with characters all across the continent because he like portals all over the place. And then we get to episode 6, which is the last episode I saw, Dear Friend. And I hadn't noticed this until this episode. But there is minimal fighting of humans in this season. And it's one thing to watch Geralt. There's actually a lot of monsters in this season. They're pretty cool. Pretty cool designs. Very interesting designs. There's one particular monster in this season that I am really excited about because its introduction into the world means that the more evolved versions of its species will likely show up further down the line, especially since Lauren told me that she's already working on season 3, and I am very excited about that. So yeah, the final episode involves Ciri and Geralt going to a kind of monastery that Geralt went to when he was younger to learn signs, because Ciri has magic, kind of, and he's hoping that she'll learn something here. Along the way, they meet someone, and then a fight gets out. And it was only now when I noticed Geralt has not fought humans this entire season, I think. He's fought a lot of monsters. This season's actually pretty stacked compared to the previous season of monsters he fights. This season, I hadn't noticed it until now, but he hadn't been fighting many humans. And and when he does, because he's surrounded by this group of fighters, these mercenaries, it's a great fight. It's choreographed really well. Some great signs. You can tell the budget's gone up because Geralt is using his signs like we would in the games, where it's like it's more advanced. Like he's using I think it's the Ard sign to shield, and he's actually using it like a shield. Like he literally puts it up, holds it, and there's like a bubble almost around him that like enemies can't hit him. Like they're constantly trying to hit him with stuff like arrows and stuff, and it's not working. And there's cinematography of the fight. Like it's a small environment. Like it's him and 4 or 5 guys, and it's him, and like the camera spins with him, and it's not quite the Butcher of Blaviken scene, but it is definitely. It's a weirdly refreshing moment because he's just been fighting. If you think about it, he's been fighting CGI monsters. He's been fighting CGI, which can at times feel floaty, lifeless. Even though they do a great job here, because there's a mixture of practical and CGI in this, and it's really good. But every now and then, you kind of want him to see him fight the monstrous humans that are around in the continent, and this did not disappoint. I was really impressed with this, and the episode leaves off on a really worrying cliffhanger. So that was episode 6, and now I am caught up with, well, you guys. I haven't seen any more episodes. I haven't seen the last 2 episodes. I won't see them until the 17th when it releases, and I'm very excited. The Witcher has been an absolute delight to watch. Um, I think fantasy is coming back in a big bad way. I know everyone keeps going, "Oh, Game of Thrones. Oh, we need a new Game of Thrones." There will never be a Game of Thrones because the simple fact is, Game of Thrones was barely fantasy. Um, it was a political drama masquerading as fantasy, in my opinion. Looking back at it, watching scenes, they dumbed down the fantasy to such a degree that it was startling when we'd see dragons, when we'd see Drogon or Viserion or the other one, Trigon. No, Trigon, Trigon. Viserion, Drogon, Viserion, Drogon. Nope. Jade, help. I don't know what the third dragon from Game of Thrones is called. Viserion, Drogon. Hold on, hold on. I'm gonna just breed, breed. Never mind, she can't hear me. That's gonna annoy me now. But yeah, like there's never gonna be another Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones can't be Game of Thrones in the end, and so I'm happy that new fantasies are coming out. I'm looking that proper fantasies are coming out because I don't think we've had a proper fantasy in a long time where you know, they properly treat fantasy as like epic, and that people try to subvert so much these days that sometimes I kind of just I would prefer, maybe we don't subvert. Maybe we go for the proper high fantasy. Maybe we go for an epic fantasy. And with that, I was really excited because we've got Lord of the Rings coming out next year, the prequel series, which I'm I think we've had enough Lord of the Rings, but like I'm gonna watch it. It's like Lord of the Rings. Come on, it's cool. Um, Wheel of Time is so much fun. Um, it's different to what we got, but it's different from the original, markedly different at times. But it has still got the heart of it, as many people have stated, like Brandon Sanderson has stated. It's still got the soul of it, and I love that. The characters are great. The world is great. The potential is there. That's the great thing about Wheel of Time, is the potential is still there to be tapped. And then we also have Shadow and Bone. Love Shadow and Bone. I can't wait for season 2. Season 2 is taking way too long. I will say that much. And I don't know if you would count. Anyone can throw it up into the chat. I don't know if you would count His Dark Materials as fantasy. I think it is. But there's still so much like kind of sci-fi elements to it almost. But that's also a great series, and that's winding down as well. I mean, it's coming to its third season next year, which will be its final season, and I can't wait for that season. That is an incredibly mature, dark, high fantasy it's just fantasy that I adore. Yeah, I don't know why I keep thinking it's kind of sci-fi-esque. Maybe it's because of what goes on in the world. I don't know. Like the certain designs of things. And hey, who doesn't love some more James McAvoy with an awesome, awesome coat and beard? No one. That's who. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I am really excited for the fantasy genre. Um, Oh, and also I saw a trailer. Like, I don't know if anyone else saw the trailer who's here watching. They released a trailer for the Fantastic Beasts 3, The Secrets of Dumbledore. It was like, it's like 30 seconds. Like, because it's a celebration of the Harry Potter, and then the last 40 seconds is the new film. Like, it's the upcoming film. And that's fantasy. And I can't wait to see if Aurelius Dumbledore is real. I can't wait, because if he is, it's amazing. Because like, I really like Ezra Miller, and he plays the crap out of that character, and I can't wait to see him go toe to toe with Dumbledore. Albus Dumbledore, played by Jude Law in this film. I just absolutely can't wait. That's interesting. I found the Golden Compass movie to be really boring, but I loved the series. The series is way more interesting. Maybe it needed to be a series. Which is also kind of sad because a lot of people said the casting was almost perfect. Sam Elliott, Daniel Craig, Eva Green, Nicole Kidman as Mrs. Coulter. She's not as terrifying as Ruth Wilson, but she's still good. Like, Ruth Wilson is genuinely terrifying as Mrs. Coulter. I think it was the little girl. I don't think she could play her properly. Daphne Keane. Now, Daphne Keane is good. Also, they had Ian McKellen as that polar bear, which was awesome. Like, the cast phenomenal. What let them down was direction and dialogue. And again, their lead was very bland. She was not interesting at all. You look at Daphne Keane. Daphne Keane's got moxie. Daphne Keane has got it all. And also, to be fair, when you say the cast is phenomenal for that film, the cast is above and beyond for the series. Like, James McAvoy, for the little that he's in it, is so cool, so magnetic. Like I said, Daphne Keane. Ruth Wilson is terrifying as Mrs. Coulter. That goddamn monkey that she has is so unnerving. I still say they should have got Eva Green back to play the same character, but, whatever. Yeah. You see, that's the thing. Book appearance is... If you can't match character with appearance... I think appearance is second when it comes to character. If you can't match the character's personality, appearance doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't care how a character looks. I mean, that's the great thing about, like, both makeup and CGI, is that you could easily just make them look like them a little bit more. But, I mean, she may have looked like her, but she wasn't her. She was so boring, which is a shame, because that could have been a great franchise. That could have been a great film franchise. But I'm hoping now that, with it hopefully coming out next year, that we're gonna have like Shadow and Bone season 2. We're gonna have the final season of His Dark Materials, and whatever comes next. Oh, and Wheel of Time. Sorry, Wheel of Time season 2 might be out next year. Jesus, because season 1 is almost finished. Episode 6 just came out. We're now waiting on episodes 7 and 8, which will be the last 2 of the season. I'll be interested to see how they land this. God, I hope they land this. Yes, I have heard weirdly that Camp Cretaceous is oddly enjoyable. Who knew? My God. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This has been an absolute delight. If you want to know more about The Witcher, check out our page, Game Air, for my interview. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's where my interview is as well. Share it with your friends, especially if they're Witcher fans. Be sure to subscribe onto our channel. We've got a lot of stuff going on through the week, various streams. We may have a takeover tomorrow with Auntie Tinkerbell. She usually plays Battlefield 2042. Sometimes she plays Spider-Man. Whatever takes her fancy. We also have, we have John. John usually pops in a week. Connor's still doing, trying to become a Bannerlord in that Mount and Blade 2 game. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us. There may be also other surprises during the week. I don't know. I deign not speak about it in case I speaketh out of turn. I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, guys, thanks so much. It's been a blast. Oh God, this was really good to do. I needed almost like a wind down session, just to talk, talk out into the void. So yeah, guys, have a lovely day, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.